Hey guys, this is BurpBot. This is going to be kind of a continuation of my last video. In my last video, I did a walk around slash review of the Freelancer. In this video, I'm going to be doing the Freelancer MAX. The Freelancer series is made by the Musashi Industrial and Starflight concern. And that's where the MISC come from. The MISC at the beginning of the name comes from, so in this case the MISC Freelancer MAX. Now the MISC Freelancer MAX was an upgrade that I did on my pledge package for the Freelancer, and it was an additional $30 on top of the $125 that I spent to pledge in with the Freelancer to get the Freelancer MAX upgrade. Some stats for you guys. The length is the same as the Freelancer base model at 32 meters. It's considerably wider at 19 meters, whereas the Freelancer was 15 meters. Height-wise, it's the same at 8 meters. Cargo mass is 32,000 kilograms. Cargo units that it can haul is 123 compared to the 52 that's on the Freelancer, so there's a considerable difference there. Cruise size is marketed as 2, but it does have the option for up to 4. Power plant size is 5. The factory plant, the plant that comes with the ship from the factory is the Tonnerre. Max engine size for the primary is 4 times TR5s. From the factory it comes with 4 times Arc Elite 400 engines for the primary engines. It has 8 times TR2 maneuvering thrusters. Those thrusters are the Zytec thrusters from the factory. Max shielding is 4 compared to 5 from the Freelancer, so it does have one less max shield. And the shield power plant is the GH146M. Now, there's a considerable difference in the size of the Freelancer compared to the Freelancer MAX. Now, I highly recommend, if you haven't watched my Freelancer video, to watch the Freelancer video before you watch the Freelancer MAX, so that you know the differences that I will be talking about. So we're going to walk up. Front profile, it's a lot wider, clearly. That 19 meter width compared to the 15 meter width is definitely noticeable. The profile from the side right here is a lot different. The cockpit seems to sit higher than the Freelancer, and the reason how you can tell that is because it's a lot farther above my head. I believe this is a sensor module, but don't quote me. So, but it's a lot farther above my head. Thrusters, you can see the thrusters, the wear mark on the hull from the thrusters, paint chips, scratches. A little bit more detail on the paint scheme for this version of the Freelancer. I like the cargo, or the cockpit profile a little bit better on the MAX than I do on the base model Freelancer. More thrusters. Right there and right there. A big difference that this one has than the Freelancer is this front landing leg is also a access hatch. So instead of just being purely a front landing gear, now it's a front landing gear with stairs that go into the front access, which go into the crew cabin. The crew space is a lot different on the MAX than it is on the base model Freelancer, and I'll demonstrate that in a minute. Really amazing job with the paint scheme here. The wear and tear on the hull is pretty nice. Some scratches there. Now, I don't know the specifics for the weaponry on this particular version because it's not finished yet. So clearly the guns are a lot bigger on this version, so I don't know if that's gonna stay that way. I hope it does, because this cargo vessel sacrifices some of its ordnance for cargo space, so hopefully and some of its shields for cargo space and power usage. But so hopefully these weapons stay. They're massive guns for the size of vessel, and there's, you know, 2 turrets, one on either side. So just be aware that that could change, and I don't know exactly the specifics for the weapons. Moving on, the engines are massive. It's got 4 engines compared to the 2 that are on the Freelancer, so the size is definitely noticeable, and that's where some of the width comes from, as well as the cargo bay width is also bigger. It does also have a rotating point, so I'm assuming that these can also rotate down for slowing down a descent on a planetary descent. There's paint chips knocked out of the engine. That's pretty cool. Thrusters on either side. One of the things that I don't particularly like about this, and it's one of the few things that I don't like, very few things that I don't like, and it's the landing gear is just kind of, it seems like it's half-assed. It's not really well thought. I would like to see that this landing sled be able to retract into the engine compartment. But we'll see. Maybe they'll just leave it like this. I don't like it. I think that it's kind of just a lazy way to design landing gear, but at the same time, that is like literally one of the few things that I dislike about the ship. Now on the wings, if you watch the Freelancer video, you can tell that the missile armament on the MAX is smaller, but the missiles are freaking massive compared to the ones on just the base model Freelancer. So it says there's a sacrifice in firepower, but it looks like you can kill bigger things with this than you can with just the Freelancer. So it'll be interesting to see what types of missiles they are and how they operate as far as taking out enemy ships. The wings are also a lot different. The wings on this don't go back as far as on the base model Freelancer. You can see the dual engines right here. Really nicely done. A lot different than the engines on the Freelancer. So yeah, I mean it's nice. This ship looks like it's been through a little bit more life than the other Freelancer model had. The base model Freelancer that I have is relatively brand new looking, and this one is definitely looks like it's been through some situations. Side profile now quite a bit different than on the base model Freelancer. Freelancer MAX is definitely well, it's the same length, it just looks bigger. I don't know if it sits the same height. I think that maybe this model is actually higher than the base model, but according to the stats that I pulled from the website, they're the same height. I'll go ahead and show you guys the back. So here's the back view. Just a big difference. I mean, just look how wide that is. Massive difference in width. It just looks like a more powerful version of the Freelancer. Also, the rear turret has a lot bigger guns on it. I mean, those look like fucking turret guns. Sorry, pardon my French, but those look like they do some damage. Now there are some things with this model that you can't really do anything with, and you can't get into the turret currently. But I wish you could. I wish I could show you guys that. Rear landing gear. You can get underneath here. Some warning labels. You know, don't stand here when the shit's going in motion because you might die, type of thing. Let's go ahead and open up this back. There's no sound for the back hatch coming down yet, but the animation is very nicely done, fluid. The hydraulics are very well animated. I'll show you. It's just very clean animation, very well done there. Yeah, there's the turret access point. There's the one thing that I want to point out about where the turret access is Maybe this like doubles as like a stair, like a ladder to get up there. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Just because it doesn't have like the little slides that come down. So maybe this seat just kind of slides down a little bit. You use the stair, this little ladder to get up. Use that bar, mount the seat goes back up, and then you have access to the gun turret. One thing that I think that they need to fix then is for opening the door, it should be restricted to like maybe a control panel on the side here, and instead of being able to open the door from this way. Because if, say the turret was functional, and you try to get in it, then you try to, interact with it, and all of a sudden you open up the cargo door. Well, if you're trying to get into your rear turret, I'm pretty sure somebody's chasing you down and shooting at you, and if you open up the rear cargo hold, maybe you're going to lose cargo, or they're going to shoot into the back of the ship and utterly destroy your cargo, or kill the guy that's trying to get into the turret. So hopefully they do some type of optimization with that and the door control. One thing I do want to point out on the rear hatch here is the level of detail. Look at the grading. You see, it's just awesome. It's multiple layers of texture. Very well done. Very well done. There's no lighting in here, so where the light's coming from the outside, the exterior of the ship. There's no light fixtures in here, and I'm sure they're gonna add them in soon enough. Probably like right here where these things are will be lights. Another thing that I dislike, and it's probably the last thing that I'll say that I dislike, is the well, there's one more thing up front, but is this pink texture type stuff. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't match the rest of the ship. I don't know why there's pink. So hopefully they fix that. But we'll see. The level of detail put into these is really amazing. Just everything is really detailed. It's really nice. I like that they go in depth. You don't see that in MMOs where there's this type of depth. So that's pretty cool. There's a chrome material around the door frame, and I've seen other reviews that people don't really like the chrome texture. It doesn't really bother me. Mostly because I'm not going to be back here too much. Most of the operation is going to be done through the front, up in the cockpit and the crew living area, but I do kind of see their point. Big chromed out freaking conduit cover. That's the only thing I can think of that this is. A lot of people don't know what it's for. It covers these conduits right here, and also there's a type of intake that's above this area on the exterior of the ship, and I'll point that out once I get out of the vessel. But that's the only reason why I think that's there, and maybe the material could change to be less shiny, but personally it doesn't bother me too much. You tell the difference. I mean, the massive size of the cargo hold compared to the base model Freelancer. So you could definitely see where the 123 cargo units would fit in. There's a difference now when you go to the airlock section of the ship. This is not a cargo area anymore. This is just pretty much an airlock. There's a docking ring. Seems like this is a lot smaller in this version, which to me doesn't make sense because it's kind of bigger in a way. So why does this seem more narrow? I don't know, but assuming that this would be a docking collar control right here, some type of ladder that would come down, and maybe it goes into those holes like somebody pointed out in their review. I don't know. This looks like it might be some type of doorway though. Some bottom hatch. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do with this area. I don't think that this area is finished off. And it says danger, do not stand, which would imply that maybe this opens up underneath. I don't know. We'll see. Moving on to the crew space. Close this door real quick. Let's close this one too. So you can see there's kind of a difference on the doors. There's no windows. Gives it more of a cargo vessel type feel. I guess we'll just start on the crew compartment now. The gauges right here don't do anything. They're just there. If you look at the floor, it's kind of an interesting layout. And as other people and other reviews have pointed out, the reason for this is because that right there opens up into the front access way. Because if you notice, there's not a side entryway anymore. It's just the front access and the rear access. So that opens up. The stairs come up to here. This is a step up right there, and then you can walk along here and step into the crew compartment. I like the crew compartment layout for this a lot better than I like the base model Freelancer, but I'm also kind of biased because this is going to be my primary ship for a while until I can upgrade into something else. So there's a sink, drawers, mirror type thing. Over here you have a shower. Now I have a couple funny comments about the shower. First of all, for me, I'm 6.5 feet tall, pretty much. Give or take an inch or two. And how in the hell would I ever take a shower in here? Like, my head would be on the ceiling. I would not be able to open up these little things here. Or this towel rack looking. I would literally be crushed in here to take a shower. And then on top of that, there's a toilet. This doubles as a bathroom, so I would not be able to sit down and take a shit in there. Like, I would have to sit here but face out into this area to take a dump. That's kind of oh man, it just this obviously is designed for modular use. Toilet goes back up and you can close the door, but the shower's really small and the shitter's really small, so just thought that was interesting. Overhead storage compartments on either side. These come out. They both are synced to each other, so they both go up and they both come down together. They don't actually serve any type of function. You can sit down in them, but you can't. There's nothing that you can do besides look around. That's all. I'm sure in the future they'll do something. Just not sure what. Oh, why am I laying down? Oh, lag glitching out here. Alright. Go ahead and put those away. Some more type storage compartments up here. Looks like some type of labeling. Could put labels on them. That's cool. More storage right there on either side. Storage compartments. That's pretty cool. One thing I do want to point out is the grating right here is really awesome. And you can see the conduits that run from the control panels back to the control surfaces and components in the back of the ship. I think that's really awesome that they did that. Really detailed design on the floor there. Fire extinguishers, some conduits running up the side here. Some type of personal cargo net storage or blanket storage underneath these bunks. Under bed storage areas. Maybe you can put like a bag or something underneath there. Ladders to get up to the top bunks, screens on the bunks, and then the top bunks. You can get into the top bunks, but there's nothing special up there. Just I'll demonstrate. It's like the Freelancer base model, a really basic animation. Climbs up there, lays down, gets his head comfortable, and that's it. And then jump out. Little airborne dismount. There you go. Conduits run underneath the beds too. Grating is underneath the beds. Really well done. Then it goes up into the actual cockpit area of the ship, which is quite a bit different than the base model Freelancer. The seating for the additional crew is a little bit farther back and lower. These don't do anything. You can get in them. Nothing special. Just, you know, basic type stuff. But yeah, I mean, you can tell the difference. It's a little bit more living space here, because this is probably supposed to be used for, you know, hauling cargo over a little bit longer distance than just the base model Freelancer. You're supposed to spend more time in here. So I really like that, really enjoy that aspect of it. One of the reasons why I bought it, I just like the profile of the ship, and it plays to my play style. So when it gets released, it's definitely going to get used and abused for cargo hauling. Sit down on my captain's chair / pilot seat. Show you the animation. Pretty cool. Look around. You know, number 2 seat, pilot seat. Got your little XM satellite radio player on either side. It's pretty cool. I really don't know what those are for, but then you got your indicators and stuff more up front. Now, one thing I kind of don't like is how far away the indicators are. If they're supposed to be functional, how am I supposed to see that? I'd have to like stand up, walk up to them, zoom in, and then walk back to my pilot seat, which I can't do if I'm flying it, especially if I'm trying to run away from pirates or whatever. So, but yeah, there's the cockpit area and crew quarters. Now I'll just demonstrate exiting the front area of the ship, which I think is pretty cool. It's an animated exit, so you don't control it, you just hit the interacting key and then it goes out of the front of the ship. But anyway, guys, that's the oh yeah, by the way, there's that air intake that I was talking about for that back cargo space where that conduit cover was, that some people couldn't seem to figure out what it was for. It has to be something about that, I would assume. But anyway, guys, that was the Freelancer MAX version, the cargo variant of the Freelancer series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comments section, and I will do my best to answer those questions for you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video that I do. See ya.